Hello.
Hi. Hi. It was the most quiet hello.
I'm a very subdued helloer.
How do you normally start your streams? Hello?
I post a bunch of annoying anime gifs, and then I spam the most annoying songs in the world, and I see how many people quit the stream before it starts.
Why filter people like that?
That's just how I've always done it.
You know what? That's pretty base, honestly. I saw the anime gifs on your Twitch last night. Kind of, I like the dancing. They're kind of all dancing, but some of the dancing ones.
I was just gonna say like that's from my old collection. There was unironically 200,000 images in that folder. I cannot sort through it anymore.
Why? Why don't you clean it? What?
I made it my life goal to preserve all the old internet.
So just saving every single gif, whatever, of every anime girl dancing that ever exists?
Yeah, just... It is backed up across 5 external hard drives. Like, I'm not joking.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Why?
I mean, if you want an honest answer, it's because of at some point, it was when YouTube started cracking down on like content, you know, on the YouTube poop era. I'm like, at some point, the big corporations are gonna wipe out the internet, and I'm gonna be like the last person left with the old internet preserved. So I'm like, I just start backing up everything.
So is it only like dancing anime girls, or is it just art?
Everything,
like...
art, videos, screenshots of web pages, everything.
You have like anime episodes saved too?
There is old AMVs and stuff there, like clips and things from the late 90s maybe, but there is not like, because, you know, anime video format gets better as time goes on. I'm not going to save a 50 megabyte episode file because it's going to be like 200 by 200p.
Yeah. I mean, like, the what is it? For anime, aren't they like smaller files? With the crunchy texture videos?
Some of them would be. There is probably some like old things that are not really ported and updated. There is some lost media out there. So in that case, yeah, you would want to save that.
Or like degenerate anime saved on there.
You know, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
And that's not a dodge. That's just like it's not organizable at this point. The time to organize it would have been back then. But like,
it could be.
I mean, I'm allowed to swear, right? We mentioned that. Okay.
Yes.
So I shit you not, I have considered paying someone, like a friend, is like, can you sit here and just organize hundreds of thousands of files? Just go through it, organize this thing for me, and I will pay you.
Why I cannot wrap my head around like how you have so many, like, they're external, right? So just like you have a stack of
well they're internal, and there are external also, because of I have lost hard drives in the past for obvious reasons. So like, I can't trust. You can't really trust anything. Like, you gotta like back that stuff up.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a different. I can't wrap my head around it. But you know what? What if it makes you, if it brings you joy, then who cares, right?
It brings me a lot of joy. It's one of those. It's one of the little things that touch the Kokoro
sometimes the thing you say, it like makes me think like way back on like those older anime websites, right? Like the way people would talk on there.
Yeah, I mean that makes some element of sense, yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Like you go to like Gaia online forums. Oh, this anime shot me right into Kokoro.
I will confirm I never went in Gaia. I did know of Gaia, but I never officially like made an account and went there.
Really?
So, yeah, I was more of more mercenary. You kind of like I just kind of roamed. You find a new website or a forum, and you go in there, and you're just like, "Hi, everybody! Oh, drama! See you later." You just leave.
Yeah.
The mods have gone crazy and I'm taking over. See ya.
I mean, I guess that's like actually better than like staying on like Gaia or like Tiny or Me and stuff back then, because it was mostly just people role playing, like yaoi role playing, or like getting into drama with each other.
I mean, in the best of days, it was probably yaoi role playing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, the internet hasn't changed much. I'm pretty sure it got a lot worse than that.
Maybe.
I like how you said maybe.
Maybe. I wasn't really around to confirm or deny. I was just yaoi role playing the whole time.
Okay. Okay. I'm not. Was this? Are we diverging from your? Do you have like a set of interview questions? Am I like diverging from the topic and the timeline too much here?
No, I don't think you are. Don't worry about
it. Okay. Because if you get me on a subject, I'll talk a million miles. So I did role play in that era, but not the role play people think of. Like, I was a Gundam role player.
Like, oh, okay, like regular Gundam roleplay or like Gundam ERP?
Okay, no, not ERP. That'd be a little bit. It would be socially acceptable if it was Gundam ERP, okay? Because there is that stuff for Gundams. I'll confirm that. I've seen it. There might be some saved on my computer.
What?
It's all right. All the Gundams are at least 5 years old from date of manufacture. They don't go on human years. If they did, you'd be in trouble, but it's fine. Okay.
Wait. I think I misunderstood. You're talking about like the Gundam, like the mech itself, yes. ERP.
Well, not all of them are Gundams. Some of them are like there's like Gao Gaigar and Mazinger and all these things. And like someone in chat's got to be a mecha fan. And if I say the word symmetrical docking, they'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, they'll know what I'm talking about. If I say symmetrical docking, they will know what I'm talking about. There is a mecha fan out there that knows exactly what that means. But anyway, so this was like not ERP role playing. This was like my Gundam attacks you with its specifically it was G Gundam. It was G Gundam role play because there's a little more character to that.
Okay.
So like my Gundam attacks you with my unique OC attack that you can't block because it's fire and soul and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. I know exactly what type of RP that is.
So I usually avoided the other RP. I did accidentally, quotation mark, step into. I didn't participate, but like I accidentally stepped into like some weird places, and I'm like, get out of this Yahoo chat room. Usually it was Inuyasha. That was an Inuyasha era.
Yeah, the Inuyasha RP back then was something else.
I saw Moroku. No.
The thing is, like, I've never seen Inuyasha, but I know about it because of the role players. Like, that's
okay.
Where I learned everything about it. Was through
I'm
role
just
players.
saying there were some creative Moroku people back then. That handhole thing he had.
Oh, okay.
And like,
okay.
I would never trust a Moroku role player after talking to some of those guys from back then.
Oh my god!
I'm having horrible. Like I'm actually cracking. Like I'm having horrible memories. Oh, no.
Like the trauma's like rushing back to you right now from back then.
I'm activating memories I have not had. Like I burned out. This is an interview, right? We're talking about Moroku polls right now. I want to make sure this is still an interview, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is normal conversation for.
Let me just nervously drink my tea right now.
Well, we should probably do our introductions because I see my mods yelling at me about it. For people that don't know you, can you please introduce yourself, Manly?
I'm Manly Badass Hero Justice Weeaboo. That is the full technical title of the channel. I play video games and I talk over them. Sometimes I like say funny voices and then things happen. Yep. And I'm here.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is the first interview you've ever done.
Yeah, this is the first, especially for one of almost 1,900 viewers now.
I'm not watching it.
I'm watching the numbers anyway. I should be. But yeah, I was saying. What was I saying? I started thinking about numbers and I got distracted.
Oh shit, where were we? Video games. Interview. First interview.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, this is my first. I've done some like minor podcasts or some collabs in the past, but this would be my first like formal. Hey, come on out. It's a specific time and date. We're gonna ask a bunch of questions and hopefully you don't screw it up, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna screw it up. I mean, talking about
I hope not. I start talking about Moroku Holt, yeah, and I'm like, uh-oh.
I think it's fine.
Should have not drank this much tea.
The caffeine. That's what we were saying, right? Caffeine is gonna make you too hyper.
Yeah, it's fine. I've had more caffeine than this.
Yeah. For people that are curious in chat how this happened, I literally just messaged Manly one day and was like, hey, you want to do an interview? And he was like, okay. And here we are.
Yeah, you're actually the first person to do that, which is weird.
Really?
Oh, lose my voice. It's the caffeine. I guess there's a science behind that. It tightens the vocal cords. Yeah, because it's not like I would never do one. It's just like no one ever asked. So I'm like, oh, this is random, but that's perfect. Let's go.
Yeah, that's like really bizarre to me considering you've been around for so long. I would have thought like you would have done this before, or at least people would have asked you.
Someone's saying caffeine and tea in chat. Am I allowed to read chat and like comment on it? I'm not sure in your format.
Go for it.
Yeah, well, I'm drinking caffeine and coffee to give context. So like they're kind of chasing each other, which is a bad combination. But go back to what you said before I diverted. My apologies.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I lose my freaking train of thought so easily too.
Yeah, that's my problem. So I was hoping you were gonna compensate against me.
I'm sorry. I'm not the brightest person in the world.
Oh, it was about the yeah. No one has asked me before. Yeah.
Yes.
I think I always assume that maybe I don't come off as social because of it's probably partially stereotyping because of like, oh, he's got like more subdued commentary and a deeper voice. He must be like scary and stuff. And even in real life, like peers used to think I was scary back in the yesteryears. I think it's just the stereotyping what people assume and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, like if anyone just asked, like, yeah, sure, let's go.
I was like,
cool.
when I DM'd you, I was like I didn't really think about it. I was just, if he says no and he blocks me, then like, okay, there we go. I guess that's fine. But then like the best you can say is yes. I did. I don't know why I always like assume the worst. I'm like, if I ask this person and they're like, God, this girl's so annoying, and then they block me, then whatever. You know.
I mean, I do something similar. You know, my brain was kind of trapped. It gets kind of trapped in that mindset, which is very easy because of the nature of the YouTuber influencer kind of field. Because inherently, most of us anyway, are just like normal people, or abnormal, I guess. And we've been kind of thrown into this like, oh boy, you gotta go network and talk to thousands and millions of people now. It's like, oh my god, I'm not trained for any of this. I've never taken a public speaking course. I've got the most I've talked to is like 5 people at once, right? So
Yeah.
it's very easy to self doubt yourself or like put yourself down and get like overly scared. And like I even still do it. And I have like some YouTube peers I talk to that are just like, hey man, you got like over 1 million subscribers now. Like, why are you still scared of stuff like that? And it's like, I don't know.
It doesn't even like matter, I think, about like subscriber count. Like no matter how big or how small your numbers are, like that anxiety stays with you and it doesn't really go away.
Yeah. It's, I mean, people are human. It's just, this is not, it's not with everybody, but this is just a personal kind of opinion because of I'm trying to navigate this about like giving fully doxing myself, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me think about basically with how I grew up. I was able to spend time with let's say celebrities or something, and I kind of like have an idea of the nature of like a lot of people are still very human, so but they've through experience they've kind of learned to kind of bury the anxiety in their head. Like it's still probably there, and I think when you see like a celebrity like freak out, or an influencer or YouTuber or whatever, because it's the same thing nowadays.
Yeah.
It's that human part like finally snapping and coming out, like the veil that they've been keeping over their anxiety or their self-doubts or whatever. It's just like snap, and then you get the what's the classical example, the San Diego guy, the Coney 2012.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. You get that, and I'm not mocking that. I felt honestly really bad when we did that, but like I understood, like yeah, that's how. I like how we went from Rinkou holes to talking about psyche.
It's like
that's
normal
how,
interview
like,
stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you get me in my mouth running, I will not stop. So if I'm ever talking over you, feel free to stop me.
You're good. You're good.
But it's basically, I'm just saying, like, it's just something that kind of lingers. Like, some people don't have it whatsoever, but I guess you somewhat get used to it over time.
Yeah, like you get over it, but then also like you were talking about like burying it, you know, like
Yeah,
putting
you kind
a
of
veil over it, I guess.
You kind of have to like turn off a certain part of your brain a bit, and you kind of get used to it. It's not like an edgy turn off your brain thing. It's just a matter of like you have to disassociate a little bit because you're like, because like even right now, like it's, if we bring in 20 more viewers, we can hit 2,000. I like to see 2,000 here.
No, stop it!
I like to see this hit 2,000. Go tell your friends if the stream is going
Please
on. Go
please
subscribe to Leah.
No, please don't. Please don't.
What was I? I was talking about numbers. My brain disappears. I switched to like numbers mode. Damn.
The anxiety, streaming, dissociating.
Yeah, dissociating or whatever. Like you learn to turn off that part of your brain a bit, because like I said, you're like nearly 2,000 viewers. Even my channel is like, like my channel went from like 100,000 subscribers to like it's inching up that towards that 2 million mark, and that was in like the span of like a few years, despite how long I've been doing this. So like you kind of learn to kind of not quite go blank, but just not being as intimidated by the crowd numbers. But it does take getting used to, and sometimes you still get a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely understand getting nervous.
Yeah, because I mean, I was nervous coming into this.
Really?
And I don't think I ever get used to stuff like this. I can't tell if I sound nervous or not, but
You don't sound nervous. Like even when we were talking earlier, you didn't sound nervous at all. I had no idea.
I don't know, man. Maybe I've just been doing this too long.
Maybe. So, talking about like channel and stuff, I guess we'll get into the more basic interview questions now, if that's okay.
Sure. I just want to say we're at 1991. We just need 9 more viewers. 2,000. Let's go.
Uh-huh.
But yes, sorry I interrupted.
You're fine, don't worry. Okay, so when was it that you started YouTube?
Do you want to know like an exact date? Because I can probably do that if I think back.
Exact date? Sure, go
Well,
for it.
I mean, there is an exact date on my channel. I think it's 2010. But specifically, it'd be the same year or the year before that Amnesia: The Dark Descent released.
Was that 2012?
You know, I don't remember.
I'm gonna Google it. No, it was 2010. What the hell?
Damn, it's scary. So it would be at least 2010, but it wasn't on YouTube. It was on live stream, and was one of the earliest streaming places. So at that time, there wasn't many content people like this. There was, I think, Vinny, like with Vine Sauce, was streaming back then.
Really?
Because he's pretty. I don't want to call him an old dude, but like his stream is very old. Okay.
I've seen him around for a long time, but I didn't know he was like OG.
Yeah, he is in fact, because I know for a fact at one point when I was streaming, he was also in live stream and I was streaming parallel to him, and I think he was playing Lifeline, or one of those horror games or something. But yeah, I started back then, and it wasn't Amnesia, but I think I'm trying to think of the first game. It was a mod for Half-Life 2, a horror mod. Hell House? I don't know. It had a sequel.
Half-Life came out in 2010.
No, Half-Life 2, not Half-Life 1.
Wait, Half-Life 1 is older than 2010. What the?
Yeah. Unless I'm on the wrong. If it isn't older than that, then I'm in the wrong dimension. I've jumped to the wrong place.
You're probably right, but
Oh shit!
I have no idea.
2032. Congratulations.
It's the same number as a year.
Yeah, almost. I'm diverting. Sorry. So yeah, it was that mod, and you had a 50 viewer cap at that time, unless you got verified by live stream, and then they wanted to cap it. So like I hit 50 viewers on my very first stream, because I think streaming was like such a novelty back then. Like there wasn't many streams out there, right? So like not like I really advertised this thing. I just like 50 viewers, here they go. And so like, all right, I'll do this again and again and again. At some point I did Amnesia when it did come out, but I know it was horror games, weird games, or like unique games. So like RPG Maker, stuff like that, and eroge.
Oh.
I don't want to say hentai. That's how most people understand that word.
Yeah,
that sounds too
eroge
like.
is different than just straight up hentai.
Well, there was Nuki. I'm not good at pronouncing things. Nuki. I'm not even good at pronouncing English sometimes. Nuki gay. Nuki gay. It's the one that's just more sex. I'm going to say word sex.
Oh my! I've never heard of this before. What the?
Apparently I'm educating chat in the wrong way. So it was horror games and stuff like that. And you could kind of get away with stuff like that back then. And it was just the format hasn't really changed too much since then, because it's still like horror games and like anime stuff.
Like the weird like one-off games too.
Yeah, I mean it has to be a lot more censored than before, but yeah, it's pretty similar.
So when you like when you started the streaming and like started like posting your YouTube videos and stuff, did you think that like you were gonna be doing this for as long as you have been, or was it just more of like a for fun thing back then?
So it right up front, like it was just a hobby. I did not. Which is a stupid thing to do in hindsight, or what's the one that comes afterwards? It's hindsight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Foresight is before that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did not think about money back then, even though I probably should have, and I probably needed money. So it was just like, I'm gonna play random things and just throw them at the wall and see what happens. And I think that mindset is partially. I don't regret anything, because you should never get in really a habit of necessarily regretting things in your life, because the things and the way you act in the past kind of form the you that is currently here in a way. So unless you're a complete like asshole and like you're a terrible person, yeah, maybe you should make regrets and change your past. But if you're not, if you're comfortable with what you are, then I wouldn't necessarily go back and like, oh, I wish I did this and this. I could have been more famous as a YouTuber and made more money. Like, no, I would never change that, because that life that I lived and where I just took things more casually is why I'm able to like be happier with what I'm doing like right now.
That's
And just be more casual about it.
so inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I don't think, especially like, when you're younger, like it starts off as a hobby, I don't think it's a good thing to like take it seriously as like I'm gonna make this a job, because then it starts like you burn yourself out of it way faster.
Yeah, I would never. It might be a little bit different now, because everything's so. There's more money in the industry, basically, so maybe you do have to hit it harder now.
Yeah.
But I think there is a very strong psychological risk of hitting it too hard at the front, where you can just like, this kind of goes back to the snap thing, where the psyche is very fragile, where you could just burn yourself out in record time, especially if you're investing money, because like at that time, even up till like recently, till the subscriber count started going on, like, it's like a $20 microphone and like a computer that's a few $100s or something. Like you're working on like duct tape and string, right?
The HP all-in-one computer.
So like if things didn't work out, like it's like whatever. But now it's there is more incentive or push to be more professional right off the bat, or maybe you won't get your feet kind of placed in. But at the same time, you're also risking yourself both more emotionally or financially. And your average person who's starting this is not going to have much money. They're going to be out probably like a student. I mean, some might, but like they're probably going to be like a student or something. They're barely making their rent. And I've seen this even amongst my some friends of mine who have decided to like kind of enter it later in the game, where they go in and that financial hit, like they don't have the money for it.
Yeah.
And because this is a very long-term thing, so you may not see a return on your investment for like 2 to 10 years out. So not many people are psychologically or financially going to survive that. But that's show business, I guess. That's with anything. Like you start a business, or you go to college or university, or you move somewhere. Like there's always a risk with whatever you do. So at the same time, despite those psychological or financial risks, or like whether or not the field is flooded, or if it's highly competitive, or this is covered, then I would never tell anyone to not do something you want to do, because the only way you can succeed in something that you may want to do is you have to do it, right?
Yep. Yeah, I feel like that type of advice, or like it's way more applicable, like especially like recently, like the past like 2 or 3 years, right? Like so many people are coming into like the content scene and like experiencing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people, so like I definitely do get it. It's interesting to see like how it's been the same for so long.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I know my numbers and pacing as far as like fluctuations and like momentum stuff. I feel like you're in a pretty good spot. Definitely in a lot better spot than I was for many years. So.
I mean, that just comes with like, you know, the, I guess, like community that like you're like making content for, like what niche, you know, you're like in. So there's a lot of different things that like play into it.
Yeah. It's an overall interesting field. I mean, I like it a lot. But it's an interesting field. Like, it has its ups and downs, but I feel very much, me personally anyway, I feel very much alive in it. This is why when people say like, Manly, make sure you get some sleep, or Manly, don't work so hard, this or that, which I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate any words that come my way like that. But at the same time, for me personally, like the work and the struggle and the ups and downs, like that is what kind of keeps me alive. Because like, what else do you do? Like, you just stagnate in your life, or just consumer.
Yeah.
You've always got to be fighting or struggling or crying or like sweating or quite literally bleeding sometimes for whatever you want to do or whatever you're doing in your life, you know, whether it's a hobby or a financial, whatever pursuit.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like a lot of people have like this interpretation of like making content, you know, they see like people like you, and they don't really realize that like it's taken so many years for you to like get to where you are. They're like, oh, it's gonna be so easy if I do this, you know, I'm gonna get just as famous. That's not really the way that works. You can.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, this comes back to the thing I'm talking about, the psychological effect. You almost have to trick yourself into that though. Because you're like, it's really funny being a human being. Like, you gotta play so many mental games with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta trick yourself sometimes, or do this or that to kind of like, I don't know. It's certainly interesting. And even my position is kind of interesting because like, I think in all of YouTube, and I know quite a bit of YouTube, I don't think there's a channel that's as old as mine that has made it in some form. You know what I'm saying? Because usually people will burn out within that first 2 to 3 years. Or if you haven't made it, you're never gonna make it, right? As they kind of say. I kind of felt there was kind of, you know, eyes on me that kind of maybe thought similar of me, kind of like, well, Manly hasn't made it. He's never gonna make it now. But here I am. Proved y'all wrong.
Yeah.
Especially that one troll from my start of my channel. I proved you wrong too.
Oh my gosh, like the haters you get early on, like, you know, you grow up and you grow, maybe you become super successful, and then you remember that one person and you're like, yeah, man, screw you.
I remember every single name.
Kind of feels good.
Oh yeah, people who don't. Revenge is good, okay? It's not necessarily a bad... All that stuff about, like, you see in anime all the time. There's always, like, revenge is bad. And I understand the whole thing. Like, you can't have a society built on revenge, etc., etc. But, like, revenge is fine, okay? And within legal limited means.
Well, sometimes maybe you can skirt the line a little bit.
Well... I have a lot of funny stories from I don't think I should talk about those stories from my family when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh my God.
I come from a very unique family tree, so I'll try not to go into that. What was I?
Revenge. Revenge is you endorse revenge.
I don't outright endorse revenge. Quotation mark government. Pay your taxes, everybody. Wink. I don't tell anyone I fully endorse Yoshi. He doesn't pay his taxes. Damn it! What was I saying? Shit.
Shit. Revenge is based. I think that's where we were at.
No, okay. Well, I'll pull away from the revenge thing, okay? But just because when I start my channel, and I still do it a little bit, but it's just how I communicate. I don't really like shit talk back per se. I don't be like, well, fuck you, commenter, damn you. Like I just like bans a little bit because I'm a banter. So if, like someone like gives me hell in like a comment or in life in general, I just like hit back, and if they hit back, I'm like, yeah, here we go. Here's the fun part. And then maybe like you become like friends in the end, kind of like an anime. Like, I respect your bans. We now shake hands and like bro fist.
Yeah, your rival becomes like your best friend now.
I've done that before. But when I started, I didn't really like. I would just. It wasn't even like hard ban. There was one specific person. Maybe they're here watching. You never know. That was like they were criticizing the way I talked. They said like I talk funny. Maybe I did in the first videos. I don't know. So like, I basically just took their comment and like copy pasted it and just went like, "What's the matter? So blank blank for you," or something like that. I think it was an old meme called like Tough Dog or something. It was just a variation of that. And I just did that to like every one of their comments, and they got so angry. They went to like all 20 of my videos at the time and just like left comments in multiple on each one. And I just kept responding back to them like that. And then that's when they gave up. They were like, "You're never gonna be big like PewDiePie and like Cry or whatever his name was, Chaotic Monkey, etc." And I was just like, you know what? Since you said that, I'm gonna pursue a YouTube career.
And now look at that. Some of those people aren't even around anymore, but you're still here.
Yeah, that's not the only thing in life I've done similar to that, but like, I am very, I wouldn't call it spite, but like if you throw me a challenge, I'll like step right up to it. I'll be like, all right, let's go, come on.
I mean, yeah, I think back to like when I was like even watching Let's Players and stuff. I think like you and Cry are really the only ones I ever watched. And like, yeah, you're the only one that's like still around.
Yeah, that's scary to me because I look around like, oh my god, everyone's gone. Everyone's, I mean, not literally dead, but like everyone's dead.
Dead channels. It's like staring at a grave, right?
It's like in a horror movie when you're like the last girl or whatever, and you're walking through the thing and you see like, oh, there's Shaggy's corpse over there. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just you see like corpses all around you. Like, how did I survive this? Was it luck? Was it skill? Am I just prettier than the other dudes? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't really know like how that even happens, but I mean, does it feel good to know that like you're one of like the people that survived?
I mean, it's not like I never like seeing people not succeed. I'm always happy if people around me succeed. Unless I really hate you, obviously. Like if you're my arch nemesis, then yeah, obviously I don't want to see. I won't wish you ill because that's bad karma, and I do believe karma is very reflective. You bring what energy you bring into the world, but I won't like be like, I hope you succeed, person I absolutely despise. Like, no. But I never really particularly despised or disliked anyone in the YouTube community or the influencer community or whatever. So I don't like seeing any channel like go out or fail or retire or whatever. But outside that, I'm neutral because it's just like my work and my life and my whatever is like, that's my own personal journey. So like, this is my story. Like, I'm the main character of my story. You people are your characters of your story, but my story is gonna continue on. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So okay. We're gonna ask another one of the questions I wrote down. With like you're most known for like your I don't even know what type of genre it is, like the pixel horror indie RPG maker games. Like, did you expect to like end up playing like all of them, so many of them, or was that something like you played a couple of and you're like, damn, this game's pretty fun, I like these?
So it's not like it's like hard choice plan where I'm like, I'm only looking for RPG Maker, this or that. But like the start of the channel was kind of around when I think Aoni literally dropped around that time. So like it kind of coincided with the rise of that community in Japan. So by nature, a lot of those games were appearing on my channel, and that was the case of like a lot of channels at the time. Although I think I was first, and I'm not saying that as like a bragging kind of way, but just in the sense of like, because I wasn't focusing. I didn't even know YouTube was like a thing for video games. I was just uploading my clips for my stream, and then like one day, months later, I'm like seeing like all these views on my comments on my video, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And apparently it's because PewDiePie and everyone else were like started playing these games or something, and they came to my video looking for all endings. And, yeah, but that was the era when everyone said like, PewDiePie sent me here, like PewDiePie here, or like whatever, Cry here, or whatever. And I'm seeing all these names appear. I'm like, what are these? Is this some kind of new hip internet slang? So I did a little bit of digging, like, what the hell? Like a whole, how do I describe it? It's like when a whole civilization appears out of nowhere, like in a science fiction, where like a little thing in your like a little petri dish, like a whole civilization appeared out of nowhere when you weren't looking, and all like there's this whole life going on there, and you're like, whoa, it's a whole new world.
And then you have like
So it was
all
like
those
that.
aliens standing in your comments. They're like, who are you people?
Yeah, ironically, it was just like, who are you people? I wish some of those old videos were still there. They're almost all gone because of there was like anime clips in my old playthroughs and stuff, like hard anime clips just out of random places or things like that, or I'd put the music over it or something.
Oh, and
so
they
like,
got taken down.
well, one did, but like I just went through like, but you're gone.
Yeah.
There was, I'm actually gonna name one specific one because maybe chat might recognize this anime. It's I forgot the name, but there's a guy. He's kind of Bishoni. I think he's voiced by the same guy who's voiced Keon or whatever. And at some point, he likes to open his shirt a lot, and he says like, at some point he said the word volleyball, like volleyball, and he had like he was a very over the top character, and there was a song based off that line where he says volleyball in that funny way. It just goes like volleyball, volleyball, volleyball. And that was specifically in my Corpse Party, the OG Corpse Party playthrough. So like that whole playthrough had to go.
Oh man, I remember that.
It wasn't Yuri on
one.
Ice. Someone said Yuri on Ice. It wasn't that.
Yuri on Ice.
It wasn't a sports anime. It was from. I'm sorry. I'm talking your chat. Am I allowed to do that?
You're fine. You don't have to ask.
Okay. I don't want to like. This is your stream. I don't want to like overstep you. It was a KyoAni. I think it was a KyoAni anime. It had that style. Yeah.
Angel Beats?
No, it's older than Angel Beats.
God.
I don't remember names like of anything, like anime, video games, people. I don't remember names.
Yeah, it's hard to remember, especially anime names. But like, there's so many. Like I was trying to find this like clip of this anime the other day, but since I don't remember the name, I was searching for like 3 hours. Give up.
I think someone said Minami K. It might have been Minami K. I know. I would have to watch it to see that's the one. But yeah, I consume too much media. I don't remember names anymore. There's just too much.
Endless back to back. Can't remember the names. They'll start like merging together in your head.
Yeah, it becomes young Mega Man boy gets isekai'd to the chocolate universe where he must date 7 girls, but one's an alien who is also a cat.
And he turned
Like
into
that.
a vending machine that doubles as a chair.
Oh yeah, well, that's the next one. Yeah, so it's a vending machine. I like my Mega Man idea better. Capcom should get on that and pay me for that idea. But
Mega Man Isekai with alien cat girls.
yeah, and Capcom should also make Mega Man Legends free, and I will go down to their studio. I will kick in the door if I get enough clout where I can kick in Capcom's door. I will kick in that door and make them make Mega Man Legends free. I'm one of those people.
You know, I've never played Mega Man before.
There are so many variations of Mega Man that you'd have to basically name a series, and then like what are you up to, like what are you in for? Like you want RPG-ish? Do you want like platformer? There was a soccer game. Like
What the fuck?
yeah, Capcom got they still kind of do it, but Capcom got very experimental with Mega Man, and it didn't always work, but usually it did, which is amazing. Because well, here we go with the video game talk. When you consider how many Mega Man games they are, and you consider like modern series like The Last of Us 2, how modern game studios with all the budget in the world can like destroy a series within like one game.
Yeah.
With all the time and money in the world, they could destroy it with one game. Then you have something like Capcom in their prime, or Square Enix in their prime, or anything. Not modern Square Enix. Well, it was Square, and then there was Enix back then. They ran like 40 games straight with all sorts of crazy ideas, and they were making just hit after hit after hit. And nowadays, it's like developers can barely like check out 2 games before the series crash.
Yeah.
It's like whoa.
Or maybe they throw out a DLC for a game that ruins the entire franchise. I don't know. It's crazy. You know, you can destroy it so quickly these days. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's credits to the consumability of and pace of modern media.
Yeah.
It's kind of been cheapened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's like older games and stuff that like I didn't even know about, right? Like you're telling me about like Zelda. I didn't even know Zelda was as old as it is.
Yeah, it's I mean Zelda goes back to the the old Nintendos. So I mean Zelda has had its ups and downs too. So we don't talk about some of those.
The crossbow training game.
No, actually that wasn't that bad. It can get worse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the one that everybody hates. See, I don't know anything about it. I didn't know that there was a game, a Zelda game on the N64 until like 5 hours ago.
Did you not know about Ocarina of Time?
I knew about it, but I thought it was on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, bring more caffeine.
I don't know. I didn't. There's so much I don't know, and then like having you like explain it, I was like, the hell. Sometimes I forget there were consoles before the GameCube. Like,
oh no.
In my head I know, but then like consciously, I don't think about it.
You just that's the dark history just doesn't exist.
I think I was alive before the GameCube, man.
That's so scary.
It's the zoomerism.
Let me take another hit of this.
Is it the tea or is it the coffee?
It's a little bit of both. You kind of like chase one after the other. And then things happen.
That sounds nasty.
No, actually, there actually is drinks where you theoretically mix coffee and tea. There is such things, but that's not the. There's also tea and we're talking about video games, but have you ever heard of I tried it about a couple months ago. They mix tea and smoothies.
Smoothie?
Yeah, like a mango smoothie and it has like tea in it or stuff like that.
I've never heard. That sounds good though.
It surprisingly works. Like it's an actual drink, so like it's not like something like I mixed up in my kitchen. Like it's an actual thing. Like I ordered. I'm like, oh, this is an interesting idea. Let's try this.
Never seen that before, but no, I don't want one now. It sounds mango smoothie. Was it a nasty tea or was it like a fruity tea?
Usually, I think they use like a green tea or like a. It's not like a. They don't like use like a fruity tea. They use like a. Because when you're kind of putting things together, you can't necessarily double on like sweet, 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 sweet. You want the contrasting flavors, so like you kind of get like a little bit of that different hit. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it. Probably all I'm gonna think about all day now is a freaking smoothie tea. Okay. looking back at the list of our questions. Let's see. Okay, there was some of these that came up yesterday actually in pre-chat that I wrote down. I thought they would be very interesting. Is there a game that was too scary for you to finish that you've ever played?
It depends. How long ago are we talking? Like, is in modern me or like just current lifetime me? Like entirety, like history.
Probably like the current you, because of like
current me, no. Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about like youth, like you know, it wasn't really a case. I'll give it an example. Like, it wasn't necessarily the case. It was too scary to finish. That I was too stupid to beat it, and it was Resident Evil 2 back when it came out. And it wasn't because like and you know what the issue was? It was the tank controls. Like, my brain couldn't. I mean, if you weren't being attacked, because here's how Resident Evil 2 opens. As soon as the game starts, you're surrounded by zombies and there's fire, and you're like, your car just crashed, right? So there's no like tutorial or anything, because that's not the era. It's just like, oh man, zombies, run, Leon! And then I'm just like, this is my first encounter of tank controls. So I'm like, how do I shoot? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I'm trying to shoot or do stuff, and the zombies are already like on you, and then you're dead. And I would try to load up again, and it's like does the game over screen, which was very graphic for the time. And then, you know, like, it happens the same thing. So like, I did eventually get away from there, but like, it was just
like frustrating.
It's not really frustrating. It's just my brain couldn't wrap around it, because you're transitioning from like, to put more into context. So if you transition from like Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, tank controls didn't exist. Well, there was some like little tanky games, but like, it's a completely different beast. You go from like wahoo, bing bing wahoo, to like 3 dimensions, scary. So like, I was like, I can't. Well, the rental time ran out. I only got it like for 2 days, so I just went back. And I wanted to rent again. Like, I tried to look for it to rent it again, because I didn't have money to buy games. I just rented because it was like $1. And it would just never appear. People are just always renting that one out. So I never got my revenge on Resident Evil 2 back then, and like, it always frustrated me, because like, I want to get my revenge on this game. I have a better understanding years later. Well, I don't have a good concept of time. Maybe when it was like 1 year later, I don't know. Like, okay, now I understand tank controls. I want to get my revenge on it, and like, it just never appeared. Everyone was always checking out Resident Evil and Dino Crisis and all the games, and it's like, why are you guys taking all the good games? You're leaving me with like, all right, I'll rent this movie tie-in cartoon game, and like, it's the worst thing in the world. Oh my god! It's like, oh, I see what's happening. Games. Yeah, I see why you're taking all the good games out. I see what you left me with.
Was this back when like, God, what was it, like Netflix would let you rent like games and stuff? What?
Oh no! Oh no!
That was a thing. That was a thing, and I know that was a thing that they used to...
you were skipping way too many years. Okay.
Are we talking like Blockbuster era?
Hold up. I need to take another hit.
I think GameFly is more modern. Like, I think GameFly came like after the Netflix thing, so not GameFly.
This is Blockbuster era.
Yeah, I'm just okay. I know Blockbuster.
Okay, Netflix didn't exist yet. Okay.
Well, I know about Blockbuster. And
wait, what?
Yeah.
No. I honestly didn't quite hear you. What did you say?
I know.
It wasn't a sarcastic thing.
I know about Blockbuster, but
you know about Blockbuster. What color was the sign?
Like yellow.
What else?
And blue.
What else?
It was. Wasn't it shaped like a ticket?
Whatever color.
Wait, there was more colors?
I don't know, you tell me.
No, I think it was just yellow. It was yellow and it said Blockbuster, right?
And
it was shaped like a ticket.
I mean, you're technically correct, yeah.
Ah, See, I'm not that stupid. Blockbuster was the one with like the really cool like 80s looking carpet too, right? You'd go in and they'd have like the cool carpet.
I don't like referring to it like, oh, the carpet looked like that's like 80s or 90s style. Like it was. It's kind of like. It's not so much it was that style. It was like that was Z style. You know what I'm saying? Mm. But yeah, no, it wasn't full 80s. 80s gets a little more radical than that. It was a little more subdued than that.
Like the older Taco Bells, right?
Older Taco Bells had carpet?
Well, no, they had like the funky patterns or like purple.
I don't necessarily if I remember that. I feel like that's a harder. I feel like Taco Bells weren't like as standard as like McDonald's or things as far as their aesthetic.
I think they had the same aesthetic. Like if you walked inside of a Blockbuster, it would look like the inside of a Taco Bell.
I don't think there was anyone ever around that era that was like, man, this Blockbuster looks like a Taco Bell.
That's why
I'm feeling like tacos right now. This Blockbuster makes me hungry for Taco Bell. I'm gonna get myself $1 chalupa.
I'm talking about what is it? We were talking about hindsight. In hindsight, it looked like a Taco Bell.
Does anyone in chat agree with this? It's moving pretty fast, but I can read it. Like I can see if people are agreeing with this or not, because this is the first time I've heard this.
Yes, someone says the style was.
The style was.
Style was. No, I don't care how many people say no. Somebody earlier just now said the style was, so I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go with it.
You're gonna go on the one vote, can I?
Yeah, I don't care how many people
this is a dictatorship. This is maybe a lot Spartacus. Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
That movie, another old one.
Well, that one's fairly that one's extremely old. So yeah, if you go that far back, I'm not gonna quite understand as many references. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not as old as you, so.
But I'm not that old. I didn't even.
I'm a pretty young lad. I still have my memory of things. I remember what Taco Bell was like.
And it looked like the inside of a Blockbuster.
Yeah, we'll agree to Taco Bell.
Okay, we're gonna keep going with the question. Let's see. Okay, we got that one. The game is too scary. No, the answer is no to that. Is there any game you played? You don't have to name it, but like, have you like sat down to like record before, and like you were like, okay, I'm gonna play this game and I'm gonna record it, and then as you're recording or playing it, you were like, this actually sucks.
A lot. Like unironically a lot. There was a lot of scrapped playthroughs. There was actually okay. On that note, there is plenty of scrap playthroughs because I'm playing for everything. So like you're gonna get some that are just like. So here's my limit. If I can't make this game interesting or at least funny or something there, then it's not gonna work. If it's so, because there's some games that are fairly bad or like full of soul that you can make it work at least, right? You got something to work with. But there's some games that are just bad and broken and boring. Or just some games that are just too dragging. Like there is some games that are actually well made, but they're just so slow paced and boring. Where my videos just could be me like, here, I'm gonna have to do one or two things, because I do somewhat consciously think about this. I'm ever gonna have to talk so much and occupy so much airtime where you're not watching the game, you're just watching me talk about like pizzas or something. Like the time like the pizzas tried to murder everyone or something like that. No, most people don't remember that, only I do. But or it's just that's what I'm saying, like that type of stuff. Like I have scrapped 2 hours or 5 hours worth of footage before. I'm just like, this could be awful. But I have also made the mistake where I thought something wasn't going to be good. And maybe I used to do this a lot, but when my channel was smaller, and I feel like that was a mistake of mine, where I was underestimating probably how. This is not to like jerk myself off. This is just
the numbers basically proved me wrong. I was underestimating how entertaining I was, I guess. So there was a lot of games I overlooked, or just like I sat on the playthroughs, and then other people would play them, and they would do pretty well. I'm like, all right, I'll upload mine, and it's like, zoom, view counts or whatever. And like, man, I was an idiot. I should like not underestimate myself and my skills to make something out of gold.
Yeah, like the initial impression of it maybe wasn't that good.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily like these were good games. Like, if I make the call the game is not good, it's probably not good. But it was just like there was YouTube potential in, I guess, if you want to like go into that culture.
Yeah, well, I guess like a part of it is also, oh yeah, maybe this will do, like, I'll sit down and I'll play this even though like I don't really want to because it'll do well. That's like the numbers conversation again.
Yeah, I try not to think too much about the I mean, I do look at them like why not? You might as well. But I don't try to. If I thought about the numbers too much, then I would not be here. I feel like you would get stressed out too much. Like you should look at them for like obvious reasons. Like, oh, okay, people don't like this, people don't like that. But, like, if you because you are partially slave to. There is a bit of a hidden algorithm. You are partially slave to that, and so
yeah,
there is things that for all intents and purposes should be hits, and YouTube's a little funny on that. There is things that should be hits, but they're not a hit. But then like 4 months later, they are a super hit. So I think like the algorithm, it's not completely stupid. Like, it will wake up at some point sometimes and be like, oh, we only judged your video because you had a funny word in it that we think is a no-no word, but we realized it wasn't a no-no word, so we're gonna give you the video views now.
Yeah, or they're gonna hold it for so long. I hate it when like you upload something and they flag it for the stupidest reason, and then you have like the held for review sign the entire time, and you're like, I just want to have people see this, and they're like, no.
You're probably skirting the rules too much.
Well, I mean,
Are you talking about the Morokus?
No. Oh, okay. We should move to a different question. Okay. You have on your channel, obviously, lots of videos, but something that I noticed was that you have a lot of videos about yandere girls on your channel. Could you explain a little bit about that?
And what you mean, just in general? Like, what way?
Like you play a lot of games specifically with yandere characters.
So are you curious why I play those, or do I like yandere?
Do you like yandere?
I mean, I do and I don't. And since I enjoy the format, because to me yanderes are the anime Japanese version of like a slasher movie in the West or something like that. Like, it's like how there's like 20 Scream movies or 20 Friday the 13th movies. For anime games or whatever, like the yandere is kind of that format, and I don't get tired of things per se. I don't burn out unless something's bad. I don't burn out. Like modern Star Wars. But so like you can throw 100 yandere games at me, and I will enjoy each one of them in their own way. Just because like it's like whatever. Like my brain goes to like clear. Like it just clears out my memories of the previous yandere games. So I enjoy each one like that goes for any game in general. Like I enjoy each game fresh. But as far as like characters I'm personally really attached to, I don't really think there's many, if any, yanderes there. I'm definitely more of like more like tomboy, childhood friend, evil villainess, I can fix her kind of stuff like that, or like warrior, redhead, knight women. Like there's one, well, she's not a knight, but there's like one in Lobotomy Corp. I don't want to say her name because I'm gonna destroy it. But there's two girls in Lobotomy Corp I liked a lot, like Gerbera.
I haven't played it
I
yet.
destroyed names, so forgive me. And then the other one, who's like an arbiter.
I like those two a lot.
Mm.
So like that's more my type. I don't like necessarily like the yanderes. I'm more of like, yeah,
Okay.
these assertive, maybe or maybe not evil anime women.
The evil is just like a little bit of like the seasoning on top.
Yeah, like a little bit of like seasoning, I guess, you know. So they mean like there was a whole anime that ran on this premise. It was also a manga and a light novel. It was the Be Mine Hero, Maui no Yusha. So that I like. Well, it was actually past like the opening premise. It got really mediocre, but like I really liked that series. I was like, yeah, that's right. The hero and the demon queen get along and hook up. Yeah, that's the go. That's the sauce. And there was another. I'm gonna give a very, very specific example, and there might be some people who have played Rune Factory in here. It's Rune Factory 1 on the DS. Maybe it's a DS. I think it's a DS. Rune Factory 1. I think there was like a. She had an eye patch, I think, and you could basically. Well, the other Rune Factories you could do that too, but you could hook up with the evil, not necessarily evil, but like the antagonist woman. So I'm like, yeah, that's my route. Let's go. Credits roll. We're going after the antagonist.
It's always good when like they let you, like even in like like eroge VNs, you go after the antagonist. It's more enjoyable, I think.
I think it's a little more spicy. I like that.
Yeah. If they lock it off, then typically I feel like the game isn't as good.
Yeah, I don't. Persona series did that too. The recent one, like what was the recent Persona 5?
Yeah.
They locked off. I mean, there was some good choices in Persona 5, but they locked off. And yeah, she'd be competing against the ever decent choices, but they locked off the older detective sister or whatever. And I think they gave her like a special anime episode, but I was like upset about that. I'm like, you bastards.
I said this before when I played it. We should have been able to date Sai, and it's ridiculous. They made the royal, right? They made like the newer version, whatever. They added the new girl in, but you still can't date her.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, well, in that case, I think they clearly planned it at some point and they just scrapped it. I don't know why. I hate when they do that. They do that in even Rune Factory does that. They'll put like plenty of potential bachelorettes. Like, oh, you can't date them. They're too old for you. And it's like, these are just normal women.
Yeah.
So let me date. I want to date the 200-year-old elf mom or whatever. The blacksmith, something from Rune Factory Frontier.
Yeah. Fire Emblem would never do that to you, though.
Yeah, I mean, they do events nowadays. They put DLC in for the missing girls, but the DLC girls usually aren't as like. I mean, they're not part of the main story, so it doesn't quite feel right. It's like I usually won't touch the DLC ones.
Yeah. Oh god, what was that one Fire Emblem game where like you could date the dead sister, the one that died in the story?
Dead sister.
Yeah, I think it was Awakening, right? You could date the dead sister. She like dies in like the main game, but then there's like a DLC, and then you can date her.
I'm thinking, I know what you're vaguely talking about, but I don't remember. I've just consumed so much, I don't remember exactly. Oh, yeah, no, chat got it right. Yeah,
it is Awakening.
Yeah, she had did she have green hair or white hair?
It's
Or like blonde?
I don't know what color it was. I think it's like in between all of those colors. Green, but it's not, and it's blonde, but it's not. But then it's like kind of white, but it's not. Blonde? Was she blonde? I thought she had green hair.
Yeah, it was blonde. Green is the Three Houses, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
I was picturing that lady. Okay.
No, I know they're the same archetype, but no, it's not the same. Yeah.
They feel like the same character.
Well, Fire Emblem has
I mean, it has patterns as far as you can only make so many original characters. Do not steal.
Yes. I know. I wasn't thinking of Tiki. I was thinking of Rhea. I don't know how to say it. Okay. Let's see. More questions. Yes. Okay. This is about videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you stream on Twitch as well, on top of making YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that like streaming on Twitch is more enjoyable, or do you still prefer YouTube more? Are they not comparable to you? Like, opinion on that?
They're just different. I feel I do like streaming. I wish I had more time to do it, but obviously it's hard to do both with the same level, and obviously YouTube is the more dominant factor. Like, there's no reason to like give up that, and I think streaming itself is a little trickier as far as especially on Twitch nowadays. It's probably real trickier in growth, but what I do, I separate out the content and the nature of what I do on streaming versus YouTube. So for streaming, I would say streaming. For YouTube, I would just play things I may not necessarily want to play. Not that they're bad, but just like, am I gonna play this random jump scare game on my own free time? No, it would be for the channel. Well, that's not fully true, but we get my point.
Yeah.
But like with streaming, it's just more chaotic. I can just pick like whatever. Like, oh, I'm gonna play Ninja Gaiden for the 50th time, and I mean the Nintendo ones, for the 50th time again to beat my life score or whatever. Like how many deaths I get. Or I can shitpost more. Like, I can't shitpost my YouTube videos because like that will get me demonetized. Like nowadays, like you snap your fingers, YouTube looks at me and it's like,
Can't do that. You can't say that word. The whole video is taken down now.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mean like being offensive, but just like it's very easy to like annoy them. And I can't play my shitpost songs either.
Yeah, I feel like with Twitch especially, like there's like a little bit more freedoms, I guess.
I'm not, I haven't really tested their limits.
I'm not saying you should.
I do a little bit subtly. I don't think they've taken notice, but 'cause I have a very specific trait. I don't like rules, or like I don't listen to like laws or rules or whatever. I'm not like an anarchist rebel. I just don't listen to them. So I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not gonna shoot myself in the foot and to like break every rule in the thing and get myself like banned or whatever. Yeah, but like I do like pushing some buttons if I can in very subtle ways. But I think it's more free as far as like violence. That's the big one. Swearing and violence, I feel like you get a lot more on Twitch because of the format. Copyright nowadays is probably getting much more strict. And I know for a fact they do not like anime games because I'm assuming someone in their mod team is like, he's probably got like a dartboard and some posters up or something with like X's, like blood on them. You know what I mean? Yeah, because they have an unusual hate of like anime games, quotation mark. So you can play a realistic game and like be offensive. Like, the game can be as offensive as you want, but like if it's got anime on, they'll definitely pay more attention. And I just think it's someone on that staff team somewhere is just like, anime, my arch enemy.
I didn't know about
you killed my parents.
What the?
You stepped to me many times, and I might have liked it, but I don't want anyone to know that, so I must ban all anime.
Ban every single person that's ever played Novetta before.
Oh, well, no, I played that on. I was able to play that on Twitch, and maybe they just didn't see it. I think that's allowed there. I mean, it's on my YouTube and on Twitch, so.
I mean, I guess like if it's allowed on YouTube, then it's probably 90% allowed on Twitch. I feel Twitch is the place where you can test stuff, and then like it kind of goes away. It just vanishes
if you
eventually.
if no one clips it and you don't back it up, it will go away. But theoretically, I'm assuming secretly they have it on their servers somewhere, in case they ever want to like blackmail you and be like, this game had one anime boob at this one exact second, and we know so. So you better be promoting that Twitch stream. Better not be going to YouTube. You know what I mean? Capiche, right?
Yeah. I don't stream on Twitch personally, so I don't really know like what like the stuff that can get you in trouble is over there. I did not know that they are more strict with anime games. That's a little surprising.
Yeah. So like, if there was too much cleavage and it's an anime game, you can get in trouble. But if it's a realistic game, and assuming it's not a outright porn game or something like, and they see like a nudity, then you'll probably get away with it. But like cleavage, anime, anything like that, like you have to. Maybe it's different now, but at one time you had to really watch that. And like, if you check their list of banned games, like games they have specifically banned, there is definitely, and I partially understand why. There is some like work safe visual novels on there, but I guess their logic is that those visual novels are designed for titillation, whether or not they have nudity or not. So they ban them because they don't want to promote that content. And that's my guess.
That makes sense. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they promote much worse things on Twitch, but you know, corporations are always hypocritical. So I mean, that's nothing new.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the videos. When you sit down to record videos for YouTube, like what is that process like? Like is it you do everything yourself? Do you have people that help you? Can you even disclose that?
Currently I do everything myself, which is not healthy at this stage, probably, for the amount of content I put out.
Like crap.
But yeah, so like right now it's everything, like recording, editing, and like I feel like my editing speed's gotten slower, and not because I've gotten worse at it, because I've gotten too good at it. So like I'm paying more attention to details I shouldn't like care about, because you'll never hear it. Like you won't hear this random click at this random spot. It's gonna be drowned out by the music. But I'll see it there on the timeline. I'm like, that's gotta go. It's gotta go. Because it'll bug me, and I'll take it out. But that stuff like that takes too much time, and I'm like, I can't be doing that.
Yeah, you pump out tons of videos, and you're doing like every single thing yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, I enjoy it. I don't get emotionally burned down on. I can theoretically get physically tired if I'm staying up. Like Five Nights at Freddy. Like I think I've mentioned the name of my video a little bit. Like Five Nights at Freddy's Ruin was. Well, I woke up because I wake up early. I wake up at like 7-8 a.m. It's not the earliest, but that's when I wake up in the morning. So like, it's from that point I didn't nap or sleep or anything, and then at 3 a.m. Ruin drops, and I'm like on the game, and it wasn't quite short. It was I probably put about 5 hours into it.
Yeah.
So then like you're recording straight for that amount of hours, and you're commenting everything, which is straining your vocal cords, because you are, even if you're not like pumping up weights and stuff, like you're still exerting energy with talking and everything. Like that's a thing. So like you're going through that, and you're like, you've already been up for 24 hours almost, and you're just tacking on top of that, and I'm up to like 12. I know I went to sleep around like 1 p.m. 12 or something. Like I put my video out so YouTube would process it, and then I would just like, all right, I'm gonna crash for a couple hours and come back at it. Just have enough energy to do more editing. I don't do that often. Like that's just an example of like that stuff like kills you as far as like
trying to put it out quickly.
Yeah. If you don't get like an early copy or something, or review copy, like to quote a certain skeleton, you're in for a bad time as far as like
the pace of YouTube nowadays, like how fast you're gonna move.
Yeah, it was like if you're not one of like the first people to put it out, then like it's gonna get drowned out by like the ones that did
Yeah.
it first or like the bigger
it-
creators.
It doesn't happen as much nowadays. I don't have to worry about that as much at my current size. But before that, when you're in that growing stage of a YouTuber, like that is brutal. Like you gotta like hustle, because then yeah, you'll be drowned out. Like
Yeah. So like for your Five Nights at Freddy's one, you like recorded the game and then you edited it and then you were like done, or did you sleep first and edit later? And like do you usually like play games all at once?
I usually don't do it all at once. It depends on the type of game. So if it's a game where I'm reading, like talking over and stuff like that, like especially if it's like a very wordy visual novel-y, some of these RPG maker games are very wordy, then vocal cord wise you can burn yourself out within like an hour. Because like even in your normal life you don't talk straight for an hour most of the time. Like there will be pauses or things, but this is when you're talking nonstop for an hour or 2 hours. So then I would cut it around that mark and I would take a break or something and do editing and stuff. But for something like Freddy, then yeah, I would bulk, try to run through all of it at once, and then just like edit out sections to upload.
Yeah. And like how do I say? Do you usually have like when you upload in parts, like, you know, you'll have like part 1 for Ruin, whatever, part 2. Do you have like a certain time, like amount of time that you try to make every video like instant, or do you just not care and look for like the natural breaks when it makes sense?
When my channel was smaller, I used to look for more natural breaks. So like here's the thing that the kind of funny thing that happened was the upload amount increased as like the channel started picking up more, and then the length of the videos increased on top of it. It wasn't like I was splitting these videos up tighter, because it used to be 20 to 30 minutes long per part. I switched to like as long as you need to get the game done. So like my limit's now like 2 hours to 3 hours. That's the longest I'll like do a video, because that's about the length of if you sat down and watched the movie. Past that, you're gonna get tired.
Yeah.
So that definitely added more work, because if you're talking about like old manly badass hero channel, it would be like 4-hour game that's going to be split up into like 8 parts in like 1 each day. So then you'd have plenty of time to record the next game or this game or that game. But now it's like 8-hour game that's got to go up in 2 to 3 parts tops.
Yeah, I feel like the length that people watch videos for like has also increased, because like back like in the earlier days, like I could not watch like a let's play video for more than 20 minutes. But now like I'm more okay with sitting down and watching like a VOD that's like 3 hours long.
Yeah, the nature of it's kind of funny. The nature of consumption changed a little, where it's basically 2 extremes now, because you're competing against the TikTok and now YouTube Shorts format, which YouTube wants to take a piece of that pie. You're competing against that format where it's like, give me everything in like 10 seconds. And then you've got the other format, which is I want something very much longer, because I'm gonna sit here and like do my homework or like make dinner or something. And it's gonna be almost like, even if it's visual content, it's gonna be almost like a podcast. You want something long form.
Yeah.
So like there's no in between now. It's just one of the 2 extremes.
Yeah, I feel like so with that, do you think like doing videos for Let's Play has become harder, or do you feel like overall it's like easier now? That makes sense, because like when I was reaching out to you for this interview, I was thinking about like how, you know, Let's Play stuff has changed as like live streaming has become like more popular, but then like, you know, people aren't really, well, I mean, they're still going watching Let's Plays, but you know, it's very back and forth, right?
It's kind of so there's funny parts of that. It's I noticed a lot of people had the opinion that the Let's Play format was dead, and I saw this going around for the last few years, and I think for a lot of channels that is true. Like the nature of consumption, what people consume, really did change. But obviously, for me, no. And I wouldn't necessarily be able to pin down why that didn't affect me. I think I have a partial theory that as others thought it was dead, it left room open for my content, which is a little different than the standard Let's Player, well, the dominant Let's Player style. Just because this is how I've always done it. So I mean, there's a few other channels around, but when you count the amount of like Let's Play channels left, like of this format, you could probably like count them like 2 hands, maybe if you're lucky. A lot of them are gone. So you like obviously this type of format did really take a hit and die, but obviously it's also still very much like alive. Like it's getting more views than ever as far as content wise. So maybe it didn't quite die. It might have just consolidated. Like the nature of all consumption, streaming is a little chaotic right now, but like streaming is gonna eventually consolidate. Social media, like internet, everything's consolidating into things. So like even the amount of creators for every kind of like niche or whatever is consolidating. So that's probably what happened.
Yeah. Or I guess like maybe, you know, because like again, you've been around for a long time. There's people in chat talking about like how they've been watching you for years. Like I don't think like the style of your content, unless like you feel differently, like has really changed much. And like I think like knowing that like there's somebody that's doing it the same way they've always been, it's nice to see. It's refreshing as like everything else is changing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like changing, and not like a stubborn like get off my lawn kind of way. It's just I am me. So like I'm not gonna necessarily change like what me is, because then you're kind of not you're not your own self anymore. And if you got something, if you think you truly got something good, like let's I'm gonna make the sin of making the restaurant comparison to the food. What's the food thing? If you make good pizzas, people aren't gonna necessarily not want to eat pizzas. They're gonna want to eat pizzas. They're gonna go to a pizza place. Like yeah, they'll maybe eat other types of food, but like you don't throw out the pizzas and like, oh, everyone's drinking the boba tea. Like we got to become a boba tea place now. Like you don't do that. You serve pizzas.
That makes sense.
So that yeah, so that's my food thing. I've broken that sin, made the food comparison.
Yeah, it's just interesting to think about, especially like looking back on it, I guess. But I don't know, when you put it like the pizza analogy, like yeah, no one's gonna stop watching just because like, you know, my god, there's a funny anime girl I can go watch on Twitch now.
Yeah, you know, I saw people fear. What's that term? Is it fear mongering? Fear mongering. I actually did see people fear mongering about that. But like, oh, the anime girls, they gotta go watch it. But no, it's like everyone can kind of exist. Like everyone's got their own thing going, and like if someone's running from your style of content to another content, then it's just exposing the flaws in your format, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I trying to say anime girls taking over. I don't think it's taking over, but just more of like a
maybe. I mean, I might be like half quarter anime in my veins somewhere.
Quarter anime somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I do have the eroge origins, so like maybe that's why I have success nowadays. It's like the it's the anime genetics. It makes me superior to these other like normal humans.
Now, nobody wants to watch
human flesh blood.
Nobody wants to watch like a stinky face streamer. No, just go watch the anime avatar, you know, or like just like the disembodied
that's my
voice.
preference.
Right.
If you had me like pick between the two, like I don't want to see a human being. Like forget that.
Either the anime avatar or just like the voice. Which it's cool that like I guess like there's VTubers and stuff now, but I do miss when everybody was just disembodied voices playing video games.
I understand that. Yeah, I mean, that was a very short-lived era, and I guess it's kind of come back because I some of the most successful people nowadays are disembodied voices, which is kind of funny. I feel like that's a natural shift in how people consume content. I could probably pinpoint that. It's because the longer form content became more popular again. So then you're primarily going to be listening to the voice. You're not going to pay full attention to the visual media because you may be doing other things. So then the voice part becomes probably more key. The commentary becomes more key now. I feel like that's probably what happened. Because you have like, well, Dreams of Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is always popular. But like, there is plenty of examples of formerly disembodied voices anyway that have had a lot of success. So that old format of the you gotta have your face on the thumbnail, like that died. That died really hard.
Yeah, like I didn't even think about that, but yeah, like you were saying earlier, how people just like leave it on while they're doing other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they do watch it, like, but like, you know, it's you can passively. You don't have to watch it the entire time. Like you hear like, oh, he's screaming. That means I gotta get back and watch it. And you'll click back in. But like, yeah. And I think YouTube likes it too because they get to put their ads on it. Because you're not gonna click away from it because you're consuming longer form content. So I feel like that's what the algorithm is pushing that. Because then you're gonna be forced to consume those ads.
Yeah, the unskippable freaking ads. What's the one that everybody gets right now? Nice to meet you. I'm Natasha.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch YouTube.
What?
Much. Well, I mean, I do actually watch VTubers. So like, not all of them are on YouTube though. But like, like actual YouTube itself, I barely watch it anymore.
Really?
Like, yeah. So I've just never been once the YouTube poop like shitpost era died, I just don't consume much YouTube because it's like. I mean, I'm a YouTuber myself, so it's almost like consuming your own job. But it just doesn't appeal to me, most of it.
Thanks. I never thought about it like that, like your own job. I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the stupid pizza thing again. If you make pizzas all the time, you're not gonna want to go eat at a pizza place, okay?
I guess. Yeah. I hate it when you fucking food analogies. It makes sense.
Yeah, definitely do not go to the pizza store that's also in Yash RP place. Like, that's a really bad idea.
With the guy with the holes in his hands making the pizza.
Yeah, don't trust a guy named Roku making pizzas. Let's just say that hole can suck in and it can also push back out.
Okay, let's see. We'll go.
Don't get the Alfredo sauce.
It's okay. That's...
Yeah, no white pizza, please.
You're done. You're done. That's so gross.
I'm just talking about pizza.
Okay. Anyways, we're gonna one more question before we wrap up here. I feel like I have to ask this, but what was your honest opinion on FNAF Ruin?
I actually gave one in my playthrough. You want like the long opinion?
Yes.
Or are we okay? So I was. Here's how I judge a game. Did I get bored playing it? And with FNAF Room, I didn't get bored because the pace was fast enough, and the cutscenes are pretty good. But at the same time, it's not necessarily a good game. And neither was Security Breach. It wasn't Bon bad or anything like that, where I'm just like, But it's just like, well, no, there was some parts of Security Breach that were like that. Now that I'm thinking about it. Never mind. But there was no like stupid frustrating parts. So if you don't make me frustrated and you don't bore me or anything, then I'm fine. Like I don't regret playing the game. But there was some very tedious aspects. I thought the mask and like the hacking thing gets very tedious because you're just doing it over and over again. And you feel like you could do a lot more of that mechanic. where you're switching between the two worlds or whatever. Like, there's so many ways you can make that mechanic so cool.
Right?
And I think it's been done before in some games, but it just feels like I said, I did like it, but not like a, oh man, this is the best game ever, I've made $5,000 off of this video kind of way, but just more like it didn't piss me off. But if I had to give like a hard rating, because I score things on like a old video game review way, not the modern way where everything's got to be a 10 or a 0 or something, but just like the old way where they actually did scale it. So like a 10 would be like revolutionary, once in a lifetime, completely redefined something kind of game, and then like a 6 or a 5 to be like a normal game you just kind of enjoyed. Then the Rune would probably be like a 4. Okay. Now, in modern terms, a 4 is completely awful, but like, and by the way how I score things, I'd be like a 4 out of 10. Maybe I'd be a 3, like 3 or 4, yeah.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I was just interested because you posted.
I'm on as a 1. I'm just responding. Sorry.
Oh no,
that.
you're fine. Did you play all of Bon Bon? Because
I mean, I've played to what's currently out. I did not enjoy the last one at all.
The last one was ass.
And I've played worse broken games, like good luck. But like it was just so boring. And I hate being like, I don't like going like long periods without any like stimulation, if you know what I mean. And I don't mean like that, but just like there was just so many empty hallways and rooms.
Yeah, it just feels like,
I'm just like,
you're doing nothing.
I'm waiting.
When you're doing stuff like that, right? Like, you know, it's probably like a game that's big, it's gonna hit the algorithm, but you're just like not enjoying it. Like, are you like rolling your eyes the whole time that you're recording it? Like, please just get this over with.
I mean, I'm not that cynical, but like the most I'm trying to think the most painful. Security Breach had an extremely painful thing with the whole like you can't save in the end game and you gotta get all these other endings and collectibles thing. That was the most stupid fucking idea a game developer could ever make for anything.
Yep.
And I always say, like, I know why you did it. It's because you gave early review copies to a bunch of people, and you know they're gonna data mine the game. So like they'll have all the secrets, everything down in release time. So you're like, we're gonna make it so they can't save in the end game. That's gonna drag out their time. No YouTuber's gonna be able to record this in time. And I'm just like, that is so insulting to people's time. Like people are, because you're buying a game. Well, I think they're murdering me for talking bad about Freddy.
Freddy's coming. He's gonna freaking kill you.
It's like choking me out and stuff like that. I mean, that's what Freddy usually does. If you read those fanfics. It's just like if you're paying the price of entry into a game, why do you want the player to suffer? And not in the good way where like the game is hard and interesting, but like let's just put in like these terrible mechanics. Like, why do you want them to suffer? They're paying money for your product. Like, it's like a bad decision.
I don't know. I remember like when Security Breach came out too, like some of like there was like clipping through walls, or like you would be able to like run at weird times. And there was like this one part I remember where like you're using like the cameras, like the old FNAF game, but like the doors when I was playing it were broken. So I was just
You mean
stuck
like
in there.
the game bugged out?
Yeah.
Like the OG, like Freddy 1?
Yeah, it's like you're in the room, right, with like the doors, and they're like, oh my god, the power's gonna run out. But it was like so buggy that the doors like weren't working.
There is a mechanic where they can break your doors, I think. I don't know if you know that.
No, there is, right? And they're like telling you, but just you couldn't play it during that time. Just it wasn't working.
Huh. You're playing a pirated copy?
No, what? I'm not pirating my video games.
It's all right. There's no agents around here.
I'm not smart enough to pirate a game. I'm being honest. even if there's an option to, it's like easy. I would just pay for it because it feels like too much work.
Okay. Yeah, I'll believe you. Let me just readjust this microphone. And can you repeat that, by the way? That you don't pirate things, right?
I'm too stupid to pirate things.
Okay. Okay, I can report that back to my superiors.
What does that even mean?
You don't need to know.
Well, okay. I think that that is all of the questions that we had prepared for this.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you feel like I left out? Maybe not.
Let me think. Can I tell, like, there was a story I wanted to tell. It was early on with some context. Can I tell it real quick?
Yeah, go
or
for
am I gonna
it.
run your clock?
No, go for it.
I just feel like people might be interested in the story, or at least some of my fans. So sorry for hijacking things a little bit at the end here.
Don't be sorry. Just go for it.
I'm gonna tell this. I might have told this story before, but I'm gonna tell the story of how I got a restaurant shut down indirectly. Because I'm trying to remember what we were talking about, where they gave me the context for this. But it was like, so it was a restaurant I worked at for 2 days as a server or whatever. Like I worked, like, it was ever 1 or 2 days before I got fired. Okay. And the context for this is, I was kind of given the job because my dad was talking to the owners or whatever. The restaurant just opened up or something like that. And I talked to the owners too or whatever. It was 2 brothers. And like, so I worked there for 2 days before I was fired. And here's what actually happened was, the girl who was training me, because this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, she was fine, like she was nice or whatever. But the second day I came up, she didn't show up. So I was kind of curious. So I actually never worked there. What happened? And what I found out was, like, she got fired the next day, like the next morning.
Oh.
And that the one, I'm gonna give some nicknames. Let me try to think of a nickname for the one brother. So like, there's one where he's like the cook, and there's the other one. I'm gonna call him Small Fry. He wasn't actually small, but I'm just gonna call him Small Fry because his personality made me think he's like a small fry. And you have to remember, like, there's a big age gap here. I'm pretty sure I was like 15 or 16 or something, and this guy's like in his like 30s or 20s. But Small Fry fired the one girl who was training me because of who knows, some arbitrary. He was just an asshole, okay? And what I found out was, like, when he was doing it, he was like screaming out at her, like he like chewed her out, like screaming at her and like made her cry and like run away or something when he fired her. So I heard that. I didn't like him in the first place, so I kind of remember that. So I was like, I'm gonna get that guy, just some subtle way that's not gonna get me in trouble. So I did 2 things. One thing was, since he was hanging out with my dad, we were kind of like hanging out at my dad's place, where we were talking, and he was kind of talking about like his dreams and stuff. And I was kind of subtly encouraging him, like, oh, you should totally move out back to California. Like, you know, like this place is really like cut out for you. And he was, I feel like he was really considering it. Like, I'm a 16-year-old talking to like a grown man, and like you could see his brain ticking, right?
I feel like that's the worst thing you could ever encourage somebody to do is move to California. Well,
yes, that was my plan. Trust me. Because he was complaining, like, the cook, the true owner, really, was like, he doesn't give me like enough responsibilities. Like, he underestimates me, my ideas. He doesn't listen to him. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, like someone in the chat, like I was stroking his ego, like, man, you're too smart for this. You gotta move to California. You know, like you're more of a California guy, like an LA guy. You'll make it out there. It's like, you really think so? I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Oh god.
And then we all went out for dinner, and we were at this Chinese restaurant, and like while we're eating, I just kind of like noticed, like, he's wearing shoes, obviously, because it's a restaurant, but he had his feet up on like the seats, like shoes all like blatant like on the seats. And I did like this really exaggerated, like, I like bent over under the table and like brought myself up like really slowly, and I just like looked him dead in the eye, and I just was like, get your feet off the chair. He's like, what? I'm like, get your feet off the chair. It's like, are you my dad? I'm like, get your feet off the chair. It's like, oh, okay. And he kind of giggled, and then he got quiet the rest of the night. And then the next day, I didn't get a call to come in because obviously he fired me. And I heard the story. He like went to the cook. He was like, he talked down to me, like no one's ever talked down to me like that. Blah 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 blah.
What?
But
So like he fired me. I was like, whatever. I mean, I didn't want to work for him. But that catalyst plus the California discussion triggered like, because the cook guy did kind of like me, the cook brother. It triggered like a kind of like a internal thing because it was a 50-50 ownership, where it created enough drama that spiraled domino effect that got the restaurant closed down. Like it collapsed, like because the one brother did go out to California in the end and like sold his steaks back, and then like that kind of like led to the demoralization overall, and just the restaurant closed down like within like less than a month.
Holy crap!
So I'm always like a little bit proud of like that. As a 16-year-old, I got a restaurant closed down, so I'm like very proud of that.
The influence from a young age.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. I got revenge. Oh yeah, it was the revenge thing.
Oh.
Yeah, the nemesis thing. Yeah, I was like, that guy was like kind of a nemesis temporarily.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's one of my evil mastermind stories. Anyway, I don't want to like fill up the chat with those.
Is
I was like, I want to tell that story before I forget.
Yeah. No, I'm freaking encouraging somebody to move to California. I feel like that's like worse than
It's
like
ultimate revenge.
It is. It's like worse than like I can't even think of like you're like you can tell somebody like go die or go move to California.
Yeah, you'll be a big success in LA. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll definitely be able to open a world famous restaurant in California. You should go now.
Yeah. I'm assuming things didn't work out. I don't see him on the news.
I mean, it's California.
Yeah, it's California. You don't come back from California. The only people who send to California are your enemies.
NPCs, actually.
We send NPCs there.
Yeah. Like, what did you say earlier? Like the petri dish of aliens. Like a bunch.
California is a bit of a petri dish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah. Okay. There's gonna be some Well, no, the Californians in the chat are probably gonna agree. They'd be like, "Yeah, that's California."
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're out there like, "Yeah, that's California."
Yeah. No,
Californians are honest people.
You should move
They
to
know what
California
they're dealing with.
It is so true. I'm Californian, 100% right. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So, with that, any other stories you want to tell before we go ahead? I don't want to like leave anything.
I mean,
out.
I don't want to. It's yours. If you ask me how many stories, I have like 1 million stories. I mean, if you want me to tell them, I will. But I also don't want to like. I'm actually amazed your viewership is still sticking close to 2,000.
What the?
So yeah, so like you. Sorry, I like to talk numbers because what I do for a living now. And this is credit to you too. For you to hold that viewership for that long, because usually you'll see a 50% drop off rate for a stream that's running over like an hour like that. So good, good job.
Well, I mean, it's
you're dwarfing my stream numbers. My stream numbers are like 200, 300. So.
Well, I mean, it's because you're here, right? Like it's not. I don't know.
It's a collab stream. It's the meaning of the thing.
It's a combination. We're doing it together.
Yeah, it's the synergy. So that's an ideal thing, right?
Yeah. Before we go, okay, you have to shill yourself, your Twitch streams for the viewers to come watch you. So,
I just shill it.
yeah, this is your shill moment.
Yeah, so if you like people playing Kusoge and random games and horror games, and you like me, and you're like watching someone play Ninja Gaiden for the 50th time, then you go to the Twitch stream. Come check out my stuff. There's good stuff on there. There's thousands of videos, I think, now. So like you will not be without content.
Do you stream on Twitch specific days, or is it just
I'm supposed to stream on weekends, but like I've been so bad on that scheduling, which is it's partially outside my power because I've been not just the channel busy wise, but just busy with some personal things, and I'll at some point I'll normalize that schedule, but it is supposed to be like once or twice a week on the weekends or whatever.
Okay. And your YouTube, you upload every day, every other day.
It's usually every day. Sometimes it's every other day. It just what I always say is I'm not taking a. If you see a video that's missed a day, it's not I'm taking a break. It's that I have fallen asleep in my chair. I have fallen asleep, and I'm not getting up because I have run out of energy. So like, it had to go to the next day.
How often are you falling asleep in your chair? Because I remember seeing a TikTok where you talked about that.
Every night.
What the?
Yeah, it's not like I sleep the full thing. And like last night I slept to like, I think I slept in my chair to like 4 a.m. and then I woke up and like, I kind of quite literally drag myself to like bed. I'm just like, don't trip on anything. Shit. And then like I'll throw my stuff on the bed and just kind of like crash there. I don't sleep on. This is a quirk in mine. I think this is actually the first time I've mentioned it. So this is a bonus for my viewers. I don't sleep under blankets.
What?
So there is a blanket. Like there's blankets with comforters. There's everything on the bed. So I'll peel everything back, or sometimes I won't even do that, and I'll just sleep on top of things. I don't like. I have a subconscious thing. This is gonna be. Sorry for dragging the stream out even more.
You're fine.
Sorry, I have to apologize. It's my upbringing, okay?
You're fine.
I have a very polite upbringing. Well, I have a polite side, and then my dad's like the opposite. So like it jumps between both, okay?
Okay.
But dad's the shadier one. We won't get into that. So like I don't like being engulfed in things because it makes me like nervous, like when I'm sleeping. So, because I get like a lot, like I get nightmares like every night, not from the horror games, just because I have a very active brain, and so like every dream I have, no, it's not even terror. It's like every dream I have is a what's a dream where you know you're dreaming?
Like sleep paralysis? No,
that's when you're like paralyzed by like a demon that's standing on top of you.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Hopefully it's
lucid
like
dreaming.
for me in that case, hopefully it's a woman demon, but
It's lucid dreaming.
lucid, okay. Yeah, well, chat was saying it too, lucid dreaming. So like every time I dream or sleep, it's always a lucid dream, but it's not a lucid dream where you have powers over the world or like I'm gonna manipulate reality and stuff. It's more like an isekai anime where like I'm dropped, slammed in some like specific. And that's what I'm saying. Like these are not necessarily nightmare dreams. It's just that since everyone's a lucid dream, and since I'm constantly being dropped into different worlds, there's a Junji Ito story kind of like this, a horror story. So it's kind of like that. Every time it's like a struggle to survive. Like, oh man, I'm in Wolf in Wall Street like world where I gotta like make a ton of money real fast. Like, oh god, gotta make a ton of money. Blah, 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 blah,
Like
blah.
the stress dreams.
I mean, they're fun in some ways, or like I'm in isekai, cliche isekai world. Like I gotta go get the weapons and go on the adventure. But that means you're expending energy. If your brain thinks you're expending energy, even if I'm knowing like, all right, this is a dream, like time to go on the adventure, my body's not at rest. So like it can't be engulfed by anything because it's like constantly moving in the real world. So like I meant to like I punch stuff. So like you can't come near me if I'm sleeping because like a fist at some point a fist is gonna go out and it's not gonna be like a light fist. It's gonna like slam something.
What?
And that's why I try to like keep things. Let's say you shouldn't don't put a glass cabinet near a bed, okay, if I'm sleeping on it. Because like I have punched glass before, it's not broken, but like I will like wake the hell up, like oh, like blessing my hand, like I didn't break that glass.
Like, I know like you can't, like the other people have like the same thing where like they are really like active at night. Do you sleepwalk?
No, I don't think so.
Like,
I do sleep, play video games, so 100% I have slept on my streams, my live streams.
huh?
Yeah, like I've done this for so long, I have taken 10 to 20 minute naps and chat will never notice, because I'll still be playing the game.
What? What?
Because I feel like here's how I think I pull it off. I don't, well, foolish, because we would talk so long. I think it's like a mixture of muscle memory and like hearing the sounds in my beep boop headset. So like I'll be like knocked out of my chair and my hands will still be moving. And like, cause like a lot of games have simple enough controls, like it's just jump, attack, jump, attack, move. So like all it really needs to do is just move a few fingers. And this is a skill. This is actually a somewhat trained skill I picked up in my younger era, where I used to sleep in public a little bit, in like public places. And just out of choice. I don't know, I just like doing it. So like I think I picked up a trick to make it look like I'm always awake, so like no one can mug me. So like I can sleep with my eyes open, kind of like I'll like kind of open one eye and then like they'll kind of interchange a bit. So like I have all sorts of like mental, like subconscious tricks my body has to like make it look like I'm awake. Like I'll be sitting straight up, eyes will be probably open, maybe at least one or something, hands will be moving, stuff like that. So that translates to my like extreme gamer skills, where I can just like, oh man, I'm gonna pass out, and then just like beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, going on.
That's insane.
And if here's a challenge for my viewers: if you go over my Twitch dashboard, I'll name you a specific game, like one I did it on. One of the Mickey Mouse games, I specifically slept for at least 10 minutes. So see if you can spot where you think I fell asleep and was still playing. That's homework for them anyway.
I know, like sometimes like I'll have dreams where like I'm live streaming, but I'm not like at my desk doing it. I mean, I kind of understand a little. Is your chair comfy?
No.
Oh.
Okay, can I talk shit about a pro? Are we allowed to talk? Am I allowed to talk bad about products on here, or is that like no go because you're?
Don't say the brand.
Okay. I will just say that my chair is a brand that is somewhat known in the YouTube community, and I would say it is a piece of crap, and it has fallen apart in 1 year, and all the reviews, everything were all shills. And like, if I had the ability to send this thing back, I would send it back in pieces on purpose. Let's just say that.
Is it like...
I would send this back with a copy of like every bad modern Disney movie or property.
Is it one of those like the oh, buy this gamer chair to match your LED setup?
Somewhat like that. Like I said, I'm not gonna name names. I know like you can actually get in trouble with that, because there is, even me, like I am technically a suable thing. So like, I mean, I can't talk full like thing, but yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody buys those gamer chairs. Yeah, it's gonna be comfy, and you get tricked, right? You're like, oh, all the YouTubers are using this, and like, yeah, all the reviews say it's good, so I'm gonna buy it. And you buy like $500 gaming chair. It sucks.
Yeah, but at least I got tax write-off from the IRS.
You can do that?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh.
Yeah, you could have been saving money on your taxes. Yeah.
Oh. But it was only for games.
No, anything for your home office.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know!
Well, now you know.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I don't know. There's too much that you don't know, right? You learn these things as you go.
That is true. I have learned things as I go also. Partially out of necessity and partially because, like, you ain't taking my money.
Yeah. You figure it out, right? Right. It's just
Yeah.
it comes with the time. But I think this is this a good place?
Yeah, I feel like if you let me go on stories, I will keep this chat here for 5 hours straight. So I don't. At some point, people gotta go and rest. Yeah.
I feel like it's we got a lot. I feel like maybe you know, your viewers got to see a little bit different side of you, learn some cool stuff maybe.
I hope they. I mean, they learned some. I feel like they learned some bad things about early internet, which is, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Spreading the joy of the old internet is I feel like more people should appreciate it, and you should play more Edogate. Thank you.
Your chat's kind of moving real fast right now. So are all you people saying like keep streaming? Are you? Did you come from my channel, or are you like? Are you from here? I'm just curious.
Oh.
Man, this chat moves. There's so many people in the chat. Like it's moving.
It looks like, yeah, mostly yours.
Some are saying both. There actually is quite a bit of overlap in our. Huh. Well, I won't tell another story, but I'll just leave like another nugget, and people like speculate or whatever, and then we'll officially end it. Okay.
Okay.
I will say my channel is Italian Mafia approved. Take that as you will. It is officially Sicilian, old school, real OG approved.
They're gonna have to go and speculate what that means now.
Yes.
Well, with that, we will end this for real. So thank you, Manly, for coming on the channel, letting me talk with you. It was very nice.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for saying yes, even though it was like probably the most awkward way of asking.
I much prefer things are just straight up, just like you wanna go take over the world. I'm like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, I just you guys go watch Manly on Twitch. Go subscribe to him on YouTube if you're not already, but I'm sure most of you guys are. So,
I just want to say, I also want to, well, thank you for inviting me up. I also want to thank your subscribers and your audience, because I've been paying attention. They've been very, I'm not sure if gracious is the right word. They've been very kind and welcoming. And I understand that, you know, I'm the guest here and everything, but like you guys have been very nice to me and everything. Like I thank you all for also being nice.
This your community too has been extremely nice. It's cute.
Yeah,
I've
been watching them with this. You know, like I warned them, like I see you guys get out of line. I'm gonna take this truck and hit 5 more kids on the way back home and send them to Isekai World.
They've been super nice. I was watching the pre-chat yesterday. They're all being so cute. I like the hyper energy that they have. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
And yes, with that, yeah, we're done here. Yay!
Yes. Later. Bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
I don't exist anymore.
Yes. Oh, wait, I lost the page. Wait, it was supposed to be our grand exit. Okay, there we go. I'm not stupid anymore. So, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye!